A man's home is supposed to be his castle. I learned that the hard way when the queen of the cul-de-sac decided my tomatoes were a declaration of war. My name is Robert Hayes. After 20 years in the Air Force, hopping from base to base in government-issue quarters, all I wanted was a patch of Georgia clay to call my own. I found it in Pine Ridge Meadows, brick ranch, mature oaks, morning sun that kissed the front yard just right. The day I signed the papers, the realtor handed me a 3-inch binder of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. I laughed. Light reading, I said. Military life had trained me to live by the book. How tough could a neighborhood rulebook be? I built 3 raised beds right out front, filled them with the best compost, and planted the tomatoes my granddad used to grow. Cherokee purple, brandywine, the kind that tastes like summer itself. Cucumbers, bell peppers, a row of basil so fragrant the whole block smelled like Sunday gravy. It was my sanctuary. Then came Eleanor Whitford, HOA president, 68 going on tyrannical. Pink blazer, silver helmet hair, clipboard sharp enough to draw blood. She stopped on the sidewalk while I watered the seedlings. "Mr. Hayes," she said, my name sounding like an indictment. "What is this?" "My garden," I answered, wiping my hands on my jeans. "Going to be beautiful once it fills in." Her lips thinned to a razor. Section 12D. Front-facing landscaping must be ornamental. This is agricultural. You have 14 days to remove it or face daily fines. I tried reason. Neat beds, no weeds, pride in every leaf. She wasn't hearing it. A cream-colored violation notice arrived 2 days later, gold embossed like a wedding invitation to my own funeral. $50 a day until the beds were gone. I read the binder that night. The rule was vague enough to drive a truck through. I walked the block and saw chrome flamingos taller than toddlers, yards full of spinning plastic pinwheels. Established aesthetic, my foot. Eleanor decided what belonged, and I didn't. The neighborhood meeting was held in the clubhouse by the pool. 30 folding chairs, 5 board members. Eleanor center stage with her gavel. I stood when my name was called. "Good evening. I'm the new guy at 112 Oakwood. I love this community. I'm here about the garden violation." I spoke of legacy, of neatness, of the flamingo down the street. Eleanor cut me off. "Touching anecdotes, Mr. Hayes. Irrelevant. Rules are rules." 7 days left. The gavel fell. Meeting adjourned. Nobody met my eyes on the way out. I left the bed standing. The fines started rolling in like clockwork. $350, $700, $1,000 pinned to my office wall in neat rows. Then the petty stuff. Trash can out 15 minutes early, $25. Garden hose not in an approved container, another $25. I bought the pot, set alarms for 6:01 p.m. Trash pickup. Didn't matter. She always found something. Old Mr. Langford, retired history professor, stopped by while I pruned suckers. "You poked the dragon, son. Eleanor's been empress here 15 years. Nobody runs against her, everybody's scared. She targets newcomers, especially the ones who don't look like the brochure." He told me about the Garcias, forced to repaint their door 3 times. The Patels, fined for a birthday banner 1 day too long. Pattern as clear as daylight. Then the certified letter came, thick and heavy. Lien on my property for $2,000 and change. Failure to pay could lead to judicial foreclosure. Foreclosure. On a house I owned free and clear except for my regular mortgage. Over tomatoes. My sister, corporate attorney in Atlanta, read it over the phone. "They can do this, Rob. Some states let HOAs foreclose for pocket change. You need a local fighter." I hired James Nakamura, solo practitioner above the pizza joint. Sharp eyes, sharper mind. He filed to contest the lien and told me to request every scrap of HOA paper for the last decade. Eleanor made me view them in a windowless closet, no photocopies, handwritten notes only. I spent 2 weeks in that tomb, breathing dust and decay, building spreadsheets. And there it was, 6 years earlier, the board, Eleanor presiding, unanimously approved 3 front-yard raised beds for the Millers. Her own words in the minutes. "A tasteful kitchen garden adds rustic charm." Same beds, different skin color. While I dug, Eleanor hammered a for sale sign into my lawn. "Professional grade," bold letters. "Inquire with Pine Ridge HOA." Neighbors gawked. I yanked it out, stored it in the garage. Evidence. The summons came next. They wanted the judge to let them auction my house to cover $5,000 in fines and legal fees from her husband's firm. Conflict of interest you could see from space. James smiled. They just handed us the courtroom. We countersued. Breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, housing discrimination. We asked for fees, damages, and blood. Court day. County courthouse, granite steps, nerves like boot camp. Eleanor strutted in pink, flanked by her husband lawyer and 2 board members. Judge Leonard Brooks entered, late 60s, close-cropped white hair, eyes that had seen every trick. My heart skipped. I hadn't dared hope for a black judge, but facts were facts. HOA counsel painted me as a defiant troublemaker. Eleanor took the stand, dabbing dry eyes, claiming I made her feel unsafe. James cross-examined with velvet gloves over steel knuckles. He showed the flamingo, the pinwheels. Artistic. Whimsical. Then the Miller's approved garden. Silence you could slice. Eleanor stammered, face blotching crimson. Judge Brooks leaned in. Answer the question, Mrs. Whitford. Why the double standard? She had nothing. I testified calm and straight. 20 years of service, 1 garden, 1 bully with a clipboard. The other side folded like cheap lawn chairs. Judge Brooks removed his glasses, sighed the sigh of a man who'd seen too much nonsense. I've sat this bench 30 years. This case is a contender for the dumbest, meanest waste of everyone's time and money I've ever witnessed. He dismissed their foreclosure with prejudice, dissolved the lien, ordered the HOA to pay every dime of my legal bills. Then he grinned, wide and wicked. For clear, convincing evidence of housing discrimination, I award Mr. Hayes $50,000 in punitive damages. Eleanor shrieked. Bailiffs escorted her out, still squawking about appeals. The treasurer cried. The board looked shell-shocked. Word spread faster than kudzu. Neighbors cheered in driveways. Emergency HOA meeting a week later. Eleanor resigned in disgrace, board dissolved. New interim president Mr. Langford struck Section 12D from the books. My garden became the neighborhood pride. I set out a folding table. Free tomatoes, take what you need. Folks lingered, talked, laughed. The spell was broken. Eleanor and her husband sold and vanished within months. My beds doubled in size. Squash, zucchini, hot peppers. Kids formed a watering brigade. Pine Ridge finally felt like home. I still eat the first ripe Cherokee purple over the sink every July, salt and pepper, juice running down my wrist. Tastes like victory. That was my war. Fought with spreadsheets, patience, and the truth. Petty tyrants hide behind rulebooks everywhere. HOAs, school boards, city hall. They count on silence. Don't give it to them. Tell me in the comments. Have you ever faced a clipboard tyrant? Did you fight, fold, or find another way? Where do you draw the line between rules and bullying? Speak up. The garden's always listening.